Since he was here about 6 months ago, was it that long? It doesn't seem like it. Richard Harris has made a new record album called I in the Membership of My Days, poems and songs by Richard. He has made 2 movies, one not released, the other entitled 99 and 44 100% Dead, which is just released now, and he has, despite many previous statements on this show, of never again taken a wife. Would you welcome Mr. Richard Harris?
Thank you.
Hello,
Fred.
Richard.
Hello, Jack.
Yeah, that's Jack. You're even more sartorially elegant since you were married. The woman has gotten you out of those. You used
dirty clothes and
you
jeans.
used to come on with striped T-shirts and sandals and look at you now.
Well, I can afford a suit now because she's working.
Good move. Remember the last time you were on the show? I said we got into marriage. Because people are always interested. I don't know why, even though it's a private business where someone wants to get married. And you said never. You said you hadn't thought about it that morning. But by the time you'd gotten to the studio, you'd reconsidered or something. And I said, well, what happened? Did you pick up a hitchhiker or something like that?
Right.
You reminded me of it.
I remember. I tell you what it was, actually. When Paul Block, works for you, rang me up to say what you're going to talk about in the show. And he says, you're going to get married again? I said, never. Never, never, never. Now, I knew Annie for months before that. So I came out of the room and put the phone down and sat around, this is true, and I sat around the pool. And Anne and I were sitting, we were talking about things. And I looked at her and I said, Annie, do you think there's something going on between you and I that you and I don't know about? And she said, I think so.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, so when I got in here, there it was. All I can say is that 9 years of building up a reputation of drinking, of womanizing, has been destroyed in 2 words. I do.
Yes, you did have a reputation.
It's the first time I've heard that word, womanizing.
Womanizing, yeah. It's a clean expression.
That's what I meant to say.
I could have said something else, but that bleeped me.
No. You did have a reputation as a man about town, a bon vivant, a brawler, all of those things.
Yeah.
You've done away with that entirely now. Huh?
Yeah, I guess. Well, I don't know, I mean. She'll tell you when she comes on.
She's a lovely, I just met her for the first time tonight. Everybody was telling me how lovely she was. My own wife said, gee, she's a lovely girl, and she sure is.
Yeah, she's fantastic, really. She's a bit nervous tonight because...
She shouldn't be.
It's her first show.
Oh, she really shouldn't be.
She's very nervous, but once you get her talking, she never stops. I've got to warn you about that.
Yeah.
I remember, in fact, you know, she talks all the... She's marvelous. She's really... I love her. She's fantastic. But she talks all the time. I swear to you, when we were getting married, Judge Leonard Wolfe performed a ceremony. And Annie talks so much. And Leonard Wolfe says, Mr. Harris, do you take this woman to be your lawful wedded wife? And he said he does.
Really?
Yeah. Don't you? I said, yes, yes.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's great.
Johnny,
Yeah.
I just met her for the first time, and she is beautiful.
She's a stunner.
Really,
Yeah, she
you
really
have a
is.
beautiful woman.
And a good actress, I
lovely
understand.
wife.
Terrific.
I understand originally you didn't want her in this film with you, or somebody didn't want her, or what?
Well, it's a very strange circumstances, all this. First of all, when I
Is
read...
this the film 99, 144%?
and it's a great story. It's a great movie. It's a movie full of cliches. It's a kind of a Dick Tracy comic strip. And when I read it, I couldn't understand it, and I threw it away. I threw it away on a certain line. The line was, Eddie O'Brien says, you know something, Harry? He said, I think this town is too big for both of us.
And you said,
Now,
oh,
how many
good
times
Lord,
have we
you know.
heard that line before, huh?
You didn't realize that it was a camp.
Send-up. And then when I went back and reread
You
it...
said send-up now. That's a...
Well, send-up, we call it...
Is that like camp?
That's right, yeah.
Put
Kind of
on?
spoof, yeah.
Right.
And so I went back and reread it again, and I said now to John Frankenheimer, now, get me the best cast. You've got to get me the best cast. We got Eddie O'Brien, Chuck Connors, Brad Dillman, and he said, Ann Turkel. And I said, who? He said, Ann Turkel. I said, who's Ann Turkel? He said, well, she's just starting. I said, oh, no. And she was a model. I said, oh, no. Not another model. Oh, God, no. I mean, gee, this is ridiculous. You know, I said, if you want to wean your babies, wean them on somebody else, but not Richard Harris, right? So anyway, they said she did a stunning test, and she was brilliant in the test. I said, okay. Then I was in London, send me the test. They said, okay. Then they rang back the following day, the test was lost. Can you believe this? They couldn't find the test, so I thought Hollywood's couch casting, you know? Here we go again.
Somebody sneaking her into the film.
Someone was sneaking her in, right, on top of me, and I said, well, not necessarily that. I said... that came later.
Yes.
Sorry, Ann, if you're
Certainly
watching.
hope so.
So anyway, I finally got to California, and then there was a fantastic story. It broke on the English newspapers, and it said Richard Harris and Ann Turkel are going to meet for the first time on a flight from London over the pole to California today. They've never met, but sparks are going to fly because he doesn't want her in the movie and she wants to do it. So I thought, oh my God. I read it in the paper. I canceled my flight. She read it in the paper, and she transferred her ticket from first class back to second class so she wouldn't meet me. And I finally got to California, saw the test, this famous test, right? It was 16 seconds long, 16mm camera, and shot in the dark. Right? So I said, oh no, wait a minute. So Frankenheimer said, would you rehearse with her? She's sensational. So I rehearsed with her, and she got the part, and I got a wife.
That's the way then. She was good.
Oh,
And that's where she met me, in second class.
Anyway.
Richard.
Yes?
Do you want to tell Johnny, or should I tell him, how you and I first
Oh, no,
met?
you tell.
And this is the second time.
Yeah, right.
When was that? About 2-3 years ago.
Oh, yeah, 70.
1970. I was playing in Dublin, Ireland, at a place called the Gaiety Theatre.
Before they blew it up.
Played there. It's not there anymore, is it?
Yeah, they got plans for it, though.
Well, anyway, I was doing my one-man show at the Gaiety Theatre in Dublin.
Yeah.
Now, during the week, I had to do a talk show like yours, Johnny. So I was there, and I was in my dressing room, and in walks a fella, this guy here. He says, Benny, my name is Harris. I said, Harris, my name is Benny. We shook hands, and he walked out, and I haven't seen him since I said it. Am I right?
Absolutely.
This is the first time I've seen him since then.
Well, you fellas have a lot to talk about then, don't you?
Yes.
Let me interrupt for a moment. We have a word from American Motors' favorite working girl. We'll be back.